Reading Introduction to Financial Statement Analysis. There are about 26 questions related to this reading. Question number 1. An auditor determines that a company's financial statements are prepared in accordance with the applicable accounting standards. Could be US GAAP or could be IFRS. So the financial statements are prepared in accordance with the accounting standards, GAAP or IFRS, whichever is relevant, except with respect to inventory reporting. Other than inventory reporting, rest of the financial statements are in accordance with the accounting standards, GAAP or IFRS, which means the inventory reporting is not inconsistent with the reporting standards. This is an exception. This exception, as an auditor, this exception is most likely to result in an audit opinion that is, first of all, just a quick overview. There are 4 types of audit reports. Unqualified, 4 types of audit opinion. Unqualified opinion, qualified opinion, adverse opinion, and disclaimer. Disclaimer basically is a situation where the auditor simply refuses to give any opinion because he was restricted to perform his work, or perhaps the data wasn't provided to him, or maybe there could be scope limitation. Let us discuss these briefly. Unqualified opinion means that the financial statements are in accordance with the US GAAP, and this is the cleanest opinion that any set of financial statement can get. Cleanest, unqualified opinion is the most desirable, is the most preferable opinion by the auditor. Second, qualified opinion. Financial statements are not in accordance with the US GAAP or IFRS, whichever is reporting regime you are working in. So not in accordance with the financial reporting standards, but there is no misrepresentation either. Financial statements are not as per the standard, but the misrepresentation is not intended. Rest of it is fine. So in this case, we will give an opinion similar to unqualified, but you will add a paragraph describing the reason for qualification, because there was a disagreement between the management and the auditor regarding the treatment of inventory. So in this case, we will give a qualified opinion, and that makes B to be the correct option, because everything is fine, but with regard to inventory, we haven't followed the client, or the financial statements are not in accordance with the financial reporting standards. So auditor will issue a qualified opinion. What about third? Adverse opinion. Adverse opinion is the worst opinion. Why? Because GAAP hasn't been followed. Financial reporting standards have not been followed in the preparation of financial statements. And misrepresentation is intended. Financial information do not give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the business. And in the fourth extreme case, basically it's not an opinion, it's a disclaimer of opinion, where the auditor refuses to give any opinion. No opinion is possible. Why? Because records were not available, auditors were restricted to perform their work, and hence no opinion is possible. Auditor is not independent, he was influenced. So our answer to this question is, then, since there is just a little deviation from the accounting standard with respect to inventory reporting, so the auditor will issue a qualified opinion. B. B it is. Next, which of the following best describes the role of financial statement analysis? A. To provide information about company performance that will narrow down the purpose of financial statement analysis. Financial statement includes your balance sheet, income statement, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows, notes to accounts, and other supporting schedules, depreciation schedules. So it will narrow down the purpose of financial statement, and to provide information about the company's performance is too narrow to describe the role of financial statement analysis. B. To provide information about company's changes in financial position. Again, a very narrow view of the role of financial statement. We are looking for the best option. Yes. To provide expectations about company's future performance and financial position. That's the main role of financial statement analysis. Form expectations about the company's future performance so that we can make some economic decision. We can decide whether to invest, whether not to invest, or whether to extend credit to this client or not, or any other relevant economic decision. So C is the best option, and C is the right answer. Next, the role of financial statement analysis, similar to the question we've just done. The role of the financial statement analysis is best described as providing information useful for making investment decisions. Again, this is not the complete comprehensive option. We make financial statement analysis for, of course, yes, making investment decision, but also whether to grant credit to a customer or funding to a prospective client or to make other economic decisions. So this is a narrow option. B, evaluating a company for the purpose of making an economic decision. Well, makes sense. Makes much better sense because this is much broader and quite comprehensive option. So this is the basic role of financial statement analysis. And then using financial reports prepared by analysts to make economic decisions. Again, this will narrow down the scope of financial statement analysis. We use other information other than the reports prepared by the financial statement, by the financial analyst. So that will give B to be your correct option. Next, quite a straightforward, simple question. A company's financial position would best be evaluated using what? Balance sheet. Yes, balance sheet is the statement of financial position. So using balance sheet, you can have an idea about the financial position, the financial strength of the business, assets, the quality of assets, the net value of the business, assets less liabilities, equity composition. Yes, that's correct. Income statement is the statement of business performance over a stated period of time, and statement of cash flows shows the uses and sources of three categories of cash flows: operating cash flows, financing cash flows, and investing cash flows. So clearly we are looking for financial position, so that makes A to be the correct option. Next, a company's profitability for a period would best be evaluated using profitability, the results of operations. They can be evaluated using income statement, just discussed. So it's quite a straightforward question. B is the right option. The financial statements that presents a shareholder's residual claim. Well, we know the basic accounting equation. Assets is equal to liabilities plus equity. So if you make assets as your base and deduct liabilities from it, what you get is called equity. This equity is called the residual interest, also called the shareholder's residual claim. What does it mean? Let's say if your business has total assets of $100,000 and the total liabilities, current and non-current combined, $30,000. So after paying off all the liabilities, what is left is called equity or the residual claim, and this belongs to the shareholders. So if you want to calculate residual claim or the residual interest, where do you see assets and liabilities? Of course, balance sheet. Income statement is the result of your operations for a period of time. Cash flow statement shows you the various sources and uses of cash over the period of time. So clearly it's balance sheet. That makes A to be the correct option. Next, a company's profitability over a period of time is best evaluated using income statement. Repetition, excuse me for this because all these questions are from your CFA Institute online question bank, practice questions. Why I've basically selected all the available questions from this reading, Introduction to Financial Statement Analysis. Since there were just too few questions, so I just didn't make any selection from these. So I've just put them all, whether they are in repetition or not. So excuse me for that. Fine, that's B. Next, the income statement is best used to evaluate a company's financial position is assessed through balance sheet called the statement of financial position. The sources of cash, financing, investing, operating, for this we need cash flow statements. So it means A, B, they are not pointing in the right direction. The income statement is best used to evaluate a company's financial results from business activities. That's called the results of operations. So then clearly that makes C to be the correct option. Next, accounting policies, methods of preparing your financial statements and estimates used in preparing financial statements are most likely to be found where? Auditor's report, incorrect. Auditor's report contains the opinion on the financial statement, whether the financial statement are prepared in accordance with the relevant regulatory and relevant financial reporting regime, and whether they are showing a true and fair view. So clearly not. We are looking for accounting policies, methods, and estimates. They are given in the notes to financial statements, not in management commentary, management discussion analysis. So that's C. Clearly C is the correct option. Moving on. Information about management and directors' compensation are least likely, mind the word least likely, to be found in where? Auditor's report. Of course, auditor's report contains audit opinion, not the information about management and directors' compensation. Wrong. This is the least likely source of this information that you're looking for. In proxy statement, yes. And notes to financial statement will also contain some information regarding management compensation. So in proxy statement and notes to the financial statements, they are some good sources for this purpose, but of course not auditor's report. So that's least likely. That makes A to be the correct option. Moving on. Information about a company's objectives, company's strategies, and any significant uncertainty, any significant risk are most likely to be found in auditor's report. Absolutely not. This contains auditor's opinion. Notes to financial statement, note, it will be found in the management commentary, management discussion and analysis. So that's a straightforward question, B. Which of the following best describes why notes that accompany the financial statements are required? Now, this is a very interesting question and I would like to spend some time on it. Which of the following best describes why the notes that accompany the financial statement are, why they are an integral part of your financial statement? Notes. Notes permit flexibility in the statement preparation. No, absolutely incorrect. Quite an offensive statement to me as an auditor. I find this offensive. You cannot use notes to rectify an apparent violation of disclosure. Like as per the US GAAP and IFRS, you have to report ABC in this order on the face of balance sheet or income statement. You have misreported or misdisclosed this information this way. You cannot justify this inappropriate disclosure through notes. Notes do not give you such a flexibility that you can distort the numbers and then try to justify this distortion through notes. No, this is actually notes just amplify, they just explain what is contained in the financial statement. Notes should never be used to justify an inappropriate information disclosure. This is a very offensive option and clearly not the right answer. B. Standardized financial reporting across companies. Notes are not used for standardization. Notes are just a way to amplify what is given on the face of financial statement. Let's say on the face of balance sheet, non-current assets called long-lived asset in the US terminology, let's say 1.2 billion. This is the net amount of non-current assets. Now I would like to see the breakdown of these assets. I would like to see the fixed assets depreciation schedules, the composition of assets. For this, right in front of the number, a note number would be mentioned, maybe 17. So I will go to the notes to financial statements, scroll through, and I will see and look up at note 17. And at that particular point, I will find all the relevant information related to non-current assets. All the composition and everything related to non-current assets would be given there. So this is exactly what we use notes for. So they provide information necessary to understand the financial statement. I want to understand this $1.2 billion. I want to see its breakdown, and this breakdown will be available in note 17. So that makes C to be the correct option. All right. What type of audit opinion is preferred when analyzing financial statements? Clearly, you need the cleanest report, and this is the cleanest report. Unqualified opinion is the cleanest. It shows that there is no misrepresentation, and the company or the financial statements, they do comply with any relevant financial reporting standards, US GAAP or IFRS if you are in the IFRS based jurisdiction. So that makes C to be the correct option. Next. An auditor determines that the company's financial statements are prepared in accordance with applicable accounting standards, except with respect to inventory reporting. I think this is the repetition, and this, of course, questions might be repeating in the question bank because they've been, yes, exactly. So we know that it's going to be. So I've just didn't change the numbering. I could just extract as many questions as I could. So clearly it's qualified, already discussed. All right, next. An independent audit report is most likely to provide what? Now this is debatable. Absolute assurance. Well, this is impossible. You cannot have an absolute assurance about the accuracy of financial statement. Why? Because audit is not 100% activity. We do not check every transaction. We do not test controls on every transaction. We do not check every single piece of document. We work based upon sampling, based upon our risk assessment, and then accordingly we perform our work. So this is absolutely inappropriate option. Since our work is based upon just a little sample of the whole population, based upon that conclusion we draw the overall opinion. So we cannot provide absolute assurance. This is incorrect, absolutely. Yes, reasonable assurance is most appropriate. Reasonable assurance that the financial statements are fairly presented. Absolute assurance is not possible. So an independent audit report is most likely to provide a reasonable assurance that financial statements are fairly presented. Why not C? A qualified opinion with respect to transparency of financial statement. Why we will qualify unless there is a specific reason to do so. B, of course, is the right answer. Interim financial reports released by a company are most likely to be interim financial reports are reports generated quarterly or semi-annually, depending upon the regulations in your particular jurisdiction. Like Securities Exchange Commission of Pakistan requires listed companies to submit their financial statements every 3 months. That is quarterly. Of course, financial audit is conducted only once. So it means the 3 set of financial statements for quarter 1, 2, and 3, they are unaudited. And the 4th one, inclusive, that's the set of complete financial statements for the whole year, they are audited. So interim financial reports released by the company are most likely to be unaudited, because every 3 months we cannot ask our auditors to come and audit. So normally the quarterly financial statements are unaudited. Only the final financial statement for the whole period, they are audited. So most likely such financial reports are unaudited. But there's no legal compulsion to get the interim reports audited. Final R, of course. So that makes B to be the correct option. Which of the following sources of information used by analysts is found outside the company's annual report? Auditor's report, it is a part of your set of financial statement. It is included with the financial statements that lends credibility to financial statements. So it's a part of your annual report. Management discussion and analysis, yes, it goes with your financial statements. So it's a part of your annual report. But the peer company analysis, this is done outside your regular set of annual reports. This is clearly, I'm sure you know, you've done the reading. So that's B. B is inappropriate in these all. Correct. Ratios are an input into which step in the financial statement analysis framework? These are the these are the framework's steps. First, you state objectives and context in which you ought to conduct financial statement analysis. The second step is you gather data, you process the data into some meaningful form, and then you work your magic. You apply ratio analysis, you do common size financial statement analysis, you apply formulas, some modeling, and based upon this analysis, you draw a conclusion or a recommendation that is reported to the relevant person who requested such an analysis. Once the report and conclusion is given, it's not a static report that stays the same month after month. Things change, and it may require certain amendments later on called follow-up. So the question says, ratios are an important input, into which step in the financial statement analysis? Process data, we are just in the beginning phase. Collect input, that is gather data. Ratio analysis is applied when the data is processed and we analyze it and interpret it using some ratios. So this clearly is in step 4, analyze and interpret the processed data. That makes C to be the correct option. Next, which phase in the financial statement analysis framework is most likely to involve producing updated reports and recommendations? Updated, mind the word updated. Let's go back. Report, the conclusions or recommendations, they're not static. Things change. We are living in a dynamic world. Things change. Numbers on the financial statements, they change. Circumstances change. Economic variables change. Industry specific to our attention, it might undergo some changes. So that might require some updation. The follow-up phase, the last one, this involves gathering information and repeating the analysis to determine whether it is necessary to update reports and recommendations. So follow-up is the last. So basically this is A. Which phase in the financial statement analysis framework is most likely to involve producing updated reports and recommendations? Follow-up. And it follows all these 6 steps we just discussed a little while ago. Interim reports most likely are audited, most likely are unaudited. They include a full set of financial statements and notes. Normally it is done in the case of final financial statement for the whole period, for the whole year. Yes, that is most likely true. Interim reports are issued semi-annually or quarterly. So that makes B to be the correct option. Next. Notes to financial statements most likely include what? A discussion of significant trends, events, and uncertainties that affect the operating result. This is included in management discussion and analysis, not in notes. An auditor's opinion as to the fair presentation of financial statements. This is clearly a part of audit opinion, audit report, not B as well. Then notes to financial statement most likely include what? Supplementary information about accounting policies related to revenue recognition, the methods and estimates. Correct. C is the correct option. The financial statement that would be most useful to an analyst in understanding the changes that have occurred in company's retained earnings over the year is a statement of changes in retained earning. Comprehensive income is basically sum of 2 statements, your income statement and other comprehensive income. Financial position is the balance sheet. Since we want to see the changes in retained earning, for this the best statement is statement of changes in equity. What is the statement of changes in equity? A statement that shows the reconciliation between the opening balance of equity accounts and the closing balances. What are the components of equity accounts? You have common stock, additional contributed capital, any capital reserve, any revenue reserve, dividend equalization reserve, asset replacement reserve, debenture redemption reserve. You would have other comprehensive income, treasury stock. All these are component of your equity. So you show a reconciliation of opening balances and closing balance and all the changes that have occurred over the period. One of these columns will involve your retained earnings, and all the changes in the retained earning over the period can be seen from the statement. So changes in equity is the right option. So that's C. Inherent risks in an investment are most appropriately evaluated in which step? Inherent risk in an investment are most appropriately evaluated in which step of the financial statement analysis framework? So where does it fall in the steps that we discussed a little while ago? First, we state objectives and context, then we gather data, then we process the data, then we analyze and interpret the processed data, and then we report the conclusion and recommendation, then follow up. Now, what we want to see is we want to just evaluate the inherent risks in an investment. That's the part of the nature of the investment we are making. We want to assess it. We want to evaluate this. Now, clearly, this is something that will come up much later, not at the objective statement stage, not at the gatheration when we gather the data, when the data is accumulated, not when the data is processed. It occurs when we have analyzed the data, and now we are trying to report what we have concluded and what we want to recommend it. So at this point, we will evaluate the inherent risk, and this is what we need to include in our conclusion and recommendation. So this evaluation of risk comes here. Appropriate input relating to risk is to be given in the recommendation and conclusion. Right? So that makes A to be the correct option. All right, next. Reviewing the management discussion and analysis section of your annual report is important. Why? Because it provides future revenue projections. There is no such requirement that the firms need to report or disclose their future revenue projections. Reviewing the management discussion analysis section of an annual report is important because future revenue projections must be disclosed. There is no such law requiring the management to disclose future projections. It's entirely voluntary. So we can't force management to include their projections in their MDA. So this is, of course, not the correct option. So then I read it again. Reviewing the MDA is important because accounting policies may require subjective judgment by the management. Yes, that's why we just don't need to focus entirely what is on the financial statements and the balance sheet, because your financial statements are heavily influenced by your accounting standards. We are bound by accounting standard to disclose information in a particular way. So in order to remove the element of subjectivity, we need to go for the management judgment, management's discussion and analysis in their MDA section. Right? And management commentary is typically unaudited. That is not true, because auditor needs to make sure whatever is being included in the financial statement has to be make sure that the users are not misguided, they are not deceived by the information. So that's the reason that B is the reason why do we need to review the MDA, and hence it's the right answer. All right, next question. An analyst examination of the performance of a company is least likely to include an assessment of companies. Least likely. In order to assess company's performance, income statement is the most important source. Profitability and the business cash generating ability. So these are essential to assess or examine the performance of a company. Profitability and cash generating capacity. Since we are looking for least likely option, assets relative to liabilities, assets minus liabilities, it's a measure of residual interest or residual claim. After all the liabilities have been paid out of the assets, what remains belongs to the shareholders. So this is least likely. Assets versus liability gives you an assessment of overall residual claim of the business on the business of shareholders. So in order to assess company's performance, profitability and cash generating capacity. These are important measures. So least likely is A, and hence it's the right answer. All right. Question 26. During the process data phase of financial statement analysis, an analyst will most likely develop, mind the word, process data. So we are talking about this stage. During the process data phase of financial statement analysis, an analyst will most likely develop a statement of purpose. No, this is done at the first stage. It says statement of cash flows. This is again incorrect. Statement of cash flows, basically it's a source of information rather than any stage or any action by the analyst. Yes, common size balance sheet, common size income statement. This is a part of our data processing. Yes, that makes correct option. Common size balance sheet is what we use during the processing data phase of the financial statement analysis. So without doubt, this should be your right option, and B it is.
Hey hey चलो ना ढूंढे शहर एक नया, जहाँ मुस्कुराहटें हैं बिखरी, जहाँ से गम का मौसम गया, जहाँ मीठी बातें हर एक अजनबी से हों, भूले हम भी जो सारी फिक्रें, लम्हा लम्हा खुशियाँ बिखरें, इधर उधर और यहाँ वहाँ, जाए वहीं दिल कहे जहाँ, baby baby baby